So, in the weeks in the run up to the release of the Odyssey, a lot of the people like prominent YouTubers and everything like that started to like kick up a big fuss. It was like, oh well, Lupita Nyong'o and all that as Helena Troy, and they were spreading a load of online BS that about Elliot Page being Achilles, which spoiler alert for the Odyssey, never turned out to be true. So it's almost like the anti woke, like those grifters who actually want to start a load of fucking bullshit and just talk about, oh yeah, look at this. We're the ones that are ahead of curve. This is we're the anti woke and all that. It's look at this. Look at all this bullshit. You picked a fight with Christopher Nolan and you grifted too close to the sun. I'm sorry, but you did. And that's one of the things that the anti woke people like to talk about. Yeah, your girl boss too close to the sun. Nah, you went and you picked a fight with the biggest director in modern Hollywood and you got too big for your britches and you fucking lost. You fucking lost. And to be fair, no harm in taking an L. It's all right. It's okay. But you really went for the you really went too fucking big. You got way too big for your britches when you took on the Odyssey, because it was kind of like, well, you were like, well, the the masses are going to take against this. They are. They're gonna say no, no, no. We don't want this. We don't want that. No, you got too drunk on your own power, which is kind of ironic for me because I'm kind of an alcoholic myself, but whatever. But you got too drunk on your own power. You actually tried to take on the actual general audience, not just your little fucking clique, your little clique that you all fucking love so much, and they all fucking love you so much, and that you can all say, "I say jump, you say how high." You know, no, you actually took on the biggest director in modern Hollywood who can actually draw in audiences, who doesn't give a shit about your agenda, who doesn't give a shit about your fucking all this bullshit that y'all want to go on your culture wars and all that shit. And here's the thing: when Christopher Nolan said all this online thing, all this online um, criticism was irrelevant, he's been proven right. He's been proven right. Every, and all these people like Chris Gordon and all that, and all these boring bastards that are like, oh yeah, well yeah, the Odyssey was this and all this shit. No, everything has been proven right. And I was thinking of doing this like 3 weeks ago once the film just had came out and it had a really good opening weekend, and I was thinking to myself, I could do this. I could do this uh, recording, but I was like, you know what? I'll wait till second weekend. I'll wait till second weekend. And then I was like, I'll wait. And then, I was kind of like, well, I'm going to wait till it makes 1 billion because it's going to make 1 billion. I'd done that. And then, yeah, after opening weekend, I could have been like, yeah, well, look at how good the opening weekend is. There was always a chance. There was always a chance this film would have fell off a cliff after the first weekend. But obviously it didn't. Obviously it didn't. We've all seen what's happened in the last month. And you can even see, look at how strong this film has held, even with Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out last week. And look at how brilliantly Spider-Man Brand New Day is doing. Because if you could actually turn around and say, well, it's going to fall away after first weekend. Oh, wait a minute. It didn't. In the weekend between Spider-Man New Day, and then the Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out third week, and you're like, well, wait a minute. Well, it's going to obviously fall away. one Spider-Man Brand New Day comes in and absolutely breaks records, and Spider-Man Brand New Days came in and broken records. And guess what? You know what? The Odyssey has held up superbly. You can see all these little YouTube clips and li- all these things saying, "Oh well, Spider-Man crushes Odyssey." It's like, yeah, Spider-Man's obviously going to do a hell of a lot better than Odyssey. Yeah, let's call a spade a spade. You're being absolutely disingenuous when you turn around and say that the Odyssey's fallen away from this. I get it. I know a lot of the Odyssey, the anti-woke bullshit is going to be like, well, if it wasn't woke, if they didn't have Elliot Page and Lupita Nyong'o in it, it would have made 2 billion by now. That's going to be a lot of the bullshit. Let's call a spade a spade. It is. But let's be real. This film actually held up superbly in the US box office last week. Actually, did, I mean, to do 50 million in the second weekend of the first weekend of the record break, what turned out to be the record breaking first weekend of Spider-Man, and it's holding up superbly worldwide. So, it's and sometimes that actually does go in the face of some of the people that will say, well, other films would have done well with a competition. It works both ways, because sometimes you can kind of turn around and say, well, actually, you know what? If people want to go and see films, they're gonna go and see fucking films. It does work that way too. So, and a lot of that, look, and I'm even shouting at the anti-woke people, but a lot of the woke fuckers, yeah, fuck them too. A lot of us are kind of centrist and are kind of like, you know, oh yeah, kind of full of shit. But it's the anti-woke YouTubers and all that are always like, well, fuck us, and well, if you put this in, it's gonna put off the general audience. No, to be honest, let's call a spade a spade. The general audience has never been the fucking target audience of people like Critical Drinker, people like fucking Chris Gord, people like fucking like the Geeks and Gamers and all that pish. No, they'll be the ones that will be like, well, if this film was doing the money that it was doing and Tom Cruise was in it, they'd be like, oh well, Tom Cruise, last great movie star. Let's be honest, they'd be jizzing their drawers over this. Let's be honest. And I will say one thing: one of the great fucking YouTubers out there now is the ace, that Eric, um, from Midnight Movie Talks as well. He's great. He's actually like fucking great. Calls out the lefties, calls out the far right and all that pish. He actually does it really well, and he's so entertaining as well. And when he talks about like the critical grifter and things like that, I had to laugh when he was talking about critical drinker being like Doink the Clown from WWE in years ago. And I'm thinking to myself, he's not the critical drinker. He's a critical doinker. Which, he's just so fucking boring. He's just, you know. And here's the thing, like the anti woke versus the woke, it's all out of bollocks. And by the way, and I'll say this, and I'll call this out as well. I'll say this about the wokies and all that shit. People like Olivia Rodrigo, who comes out with saying, "Well, I'm against the Trump administration." Then she's like doing fucking songs with like, what's her name? Gwen Stefani, was she no fucking pro Trump and all that, and pro abortion and all that shit? And then she's doing things with like Billy Corgan with the Smashing Pumpkins. Is he no pro Trump and all that? So come on, all that shit with Hollywood. No, let's call a spade a spade. There's a whole lot of bullshit and a whole lot of levels here. But I will say this though. I will say this: all these fucking YouTubers that were like, "Well, the Odyssey wouldn't do well," and well, Well, it's still got a lot of way to go to break even. It's got to get to 750 million, like they were saying 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I was kind of smashed that, and then now they're like, well, it's got to be because Nolan's 20% cut. All right, okay, and it still went and smashed it. So you know, and then it was like, well, it's gonna fall off a cliff once Spider-Man comes out. And Spider-Man comes out and absolutely smashes the box office. And yet it's still doing well. And yet it's still making money. And yet it's still sailing past the billion. You know, let's be real here. And you know what? Honestly, hand on heart, there's almost a part of me who wishes I could actually be phony and false and be an absolute fucking fucktard. One of these pricks who's just like, you know what? I'll actually not tell the truth. I'll be, I'll just do it, and I'll just grift for the, for the, for the hell of it. And you know what? Maybe that's good. Maybe that's great, and maybe that you'll make a hell of a lot of money off that. Maybe just tell people what they want to hear. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should. You know, it's actually kind of tempting after a while. After a while, because you seem to get hell of a well thought of when you do that. So you know, maybe I'll do that. But for this day, I'll tell you this thing. I'll tell you one last thing. Fuck these grifters. They absolutely got clowned. They absolutely got embarrassed. If anyone had ounce, any ounce of decency or anything about them, they'd be like, you know what? We actually got clowned. We got it wrong. Okay. Oh, by the way, I always speak about how the grifters love going on about Tom Cruise and everything like that. And they'll say, Tom Cruise is the last movie star and everything like that. Combine the grosses of the last two Mission Impossible films to the biggest franchises going, and which probably have bigger, massive, even more bigger budgets than the Odyssey did. Guess what? Probably is going to make even less than what the Odyssey is going to make. But none of these fuckers are going to tell you that, which is kind of why I'm kind of like, you know what? Maybe I should be a liar. Maybe I should be one of these little fucking sell my soul, sell my soul for these fuckers. Maybe I should. But anyway, that's a discussion for another day. I'm just going to be as honest as I can for this time. But anyway, that's all I've got to say about that. If you made it this far, thank you for taking the time to listen, and goodbye.